Tips and tricks to create effective assessment rubrics for educators. Hello and welcome, educators, to our comprehensive guide on creating effective assessment rubrics. We are here to help you navigate the seemingly complex world of educational rubrics. As teachers, we are always on the lookout for better ways to enhance our students' learning and understanding, and rubrics play a pivotal role in that journey. But what are rubrics? How do we create them? And most importantly, how can we use them to improve student performance? Well, get ready to dive into the world of rubrics. We are going to uncover the answers to these questions and many more. We'll explore the role of rubrics in education, their key components, and how to design them effectively. We'll also share some practical examples, discuss common pitfalls, and suggest solutions to overcome them. So, buckle up and join us on this exciting educational adventure as we delve into the art and science of creating impactful assessment rubrics. Let's get started. Ever wondered what an assessment rubric is? Well, in the simplest of terms, an assessment rubric is a scoring guide used in education to measure a student's performance, understanding, or skills. It's like a map that outlines the expected outcomes of a learning activity and the criteria for assessing each outcome. Imagine it as a bridge, connecting educators' expectations to students' understanding. It gives teachers a structured framework to evaluate student performance, ensuring that assessments are fair, consistent, and transparent. But it's not just about scoring. An effective rubric also provides valuable feedback, helping students identify their strengths and areas for improvement. It's a powerful tool that fosters learning, promotes self-assessment, and drives improvement. An assessment rubric is more than just a grading tool. It's a compass guiding the educational journey, a mirror reflecting students' progress, and a catalyst sparking their growth. An effective rubric plays a vital role in shaping a learner's academic journey. Rubrics are more than just evaluation tools. Indeed, they play multiple roles in the realm of education. First and foremost, rubrics set clear expectations. They outline the criteria and standards that students need to meet, making the learning objectives transparent. This clarity helps students understand exactly what is expected of them, thus enabling them to focus their efforts effectively. Moreover, rubrics guide student learning. They serve as a roadmap showing students the path to success in a particular task or project. By indicating the different levels of performance and what each level entails, students can identify their current standing and strive for improvement. Additionally, rubrics provide valuable feedback. They offer detailed insights into a student's performance, highlighting strengths and pinpointing areas for improvement. This feedback is crucial for student development and promotes continuous learning. In essence, rubrics serve as a compass, guiding both the teaching and learning processes. They bring structure and objectivity to the educational journey, making it more navigable for both teachers and students. All effective rubrics have three key components. First off, we have the criteria. This is the backbone of your rubric. Think of these as the specific skills or knowledge you're assessing. Are you looking at a student's ability to construct an argument, their grasp of historical facts, or perhaps their skill in solving quadratic equations? Your criteria need to be clear and measurable, serving as your benchmarks for student performance. Next, we delve into levels of performance. These are the various stages of mastery or proficiency that a student can demonstrate for each criterion. For instance, you might have levels such as beginner, intermediate, advanced, or expert. Keep in mind, it's important to define these levels with gradations of quality that are understandable and meaningful to both you and your students. Lastly, we have descriptors. These are the detailed explanations of what each level of performance looks like for each criterion. The descriptors help students understand what's expected of them and how they can improve. To make your rubric truly effective, ensure your descriptors use clear, concise language. Avoid jargon or overly technical terms that might confuse your students. Instead, aim for language that paints a clear picture of what success at every level looks like. So, to recap, criteria, levels of performance, and descriptors. These are the three pillars upon which your rubric stands. Each of these components plays a vital role in making your rubric a reliable tool for assessment. When you're setting your criteria, remember to focus on the skills or knowledge you're assessing. When defining your levels of performance, ensure they represent meaningful stages of proficiency. And when crafting your descriptors, strive for clarity and simplicity. When these three components come together, a comprehensive and effective rubric takes shape. It becomes a guide for students, helping them understand what they need to do to succeed. And for you, the educator, it provides a structured, objective way to assess student performance, ensuring fairness and consistency in your evaluations. So, as you embark on the journey of creating your rubric, keep these three key components firmly in mind. They will serve as your compass, guiding you towards a rubric that is clear, fair, and effective. Designing a rubric is a systematic process. It's like a puzzle where each piece needs to fit perfectly. Let's walk through this process together. First and foremost, identify the learning objectives. What do you want your students to learn or achieve? These objectives will form the backbone of your rubric, so make sure they are clear, measurable, and aligned with the overall goals of your curriculum. Secondly, select the right type of rubric. There are several types to choose from: analytical rubrics, holistic rubrics, or perhaps a combination of both. Your choice should be guided by the nature of the assignment and the specific learning outcomes you aim to assess. Now, moving on to defining criteria and performance levels. Criteria are the specific skills or knowledge you're assessing, while performance levels represent the gradations of quality. Each criterion should be associated with several performance levels, ranging from excellent to needs improvement. Remember to ensure that these levels are distinct and clearly defined. The next step is to develop descriptors for each level. These are clear, concise statements that explain what performance at each level looks like. Avoid vague language and ensure your descriptors are specific, observable, and measurable. They should paint a clear picture for students about what's expected at each performance level. Lastly, involve students in the rubric design. This might seem unconventional, but it's a powerful way to enhance student understanding and ownership of the learning process. Students can provide valuable insights into how they perceive tasks and what they find challenging, helping you create a more effective and fair rubric. As you can see, designing a rubric isn't a task to be rushed. It requires thoughtful planning, a clear understanding of learning objectives, and a keen eye for detail. But the effort is worth it. A well-designed rubric can greatly enhance the effectiveness of your assessments, providing clear guidance for students and a reliable tool for you to evaluate their performance. A well-designed rubric is the result of thoughtful planning and collaboration. So take your time, involve your students, and create a tool that will help shape their learning journey. Let's bring these concepts to life with examples and anecdotes. Picture a writing assignment, for instance. Here we could have a rubric with criteria like structure and organization, content and ideas, grammar and mechanics, and citations and formatting. Each of these criteria can have 4 levels of performance, ranging from excellent to needs improvement. The descriptors would then clearly outline the expectations for each level. For structure and organization, an excellent rating might require a clear thesis, logical flow of ideas, and effective use of transitions. Now let's pivot to a science project. We could use a different rubric, perhaps with criteria like scientific method, data collection and analysis, presentation, and collaboration. Again, each criterion would have levels of performance and specific descriptors. For data collection and analysis, a good rating might require accurate and complete data, effective use of graphs or charts, and insightful interpretation of results. These 2 examples show how rubrics can be tailored to different types of assignments, providing clear expectations and a consistent framework for assessment. But what about anecdotes? Well, consider the story of a middle school teacher who introduced rubrics for a group project on ecosystems. Initially, students were unsure about the new system. However, once they understood the rubric, they used it to guide their work, self-assess their progress, and improve their final projects. The teacher noted that not only were the final projects of higher quality, but the students were more engaged and took greater ownership of their learning. In another instance, a high school English teacher used a rubric for an essay assignment. Students were encouraged to use the rubric for peer review sessions. This process helped students to better understand the criteria and levels of performance, and also fostered a collaborative learning environment. The teacher reported that the quality of essays improved, and students appreciated the transparency and fairness of the grading process. These examples illustrate the versatility and impact of well-designed rubrics. Creating an effective rubric has its challenges. But don't worry, we're here to help navigate those rough waters. Let's talk about some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Pitfall 1. Overly complex rubrics. The solution: keep it simple. A rubric that's hard to understand or use won't be effective. If there are too many criteria or levels, it can be overwhelming. Stick to the essentials. Pitfall 2. Vague descriptors. The solution here is to use specific, observable, and measurable descriptors. Avoid general terms like good or poor, which can be subjective and lead to inconsistent grading. Pitfall 3. Inconsistency in criteria. The solution? Make sure each criterion is aligned with the learning objectives and is consistently applied across different tasks. Consistency is key to fair and effective assessment. By being mindful of these pitfalls, you can design rubrics that are both effective and user-friendly. Rubrics are not one-size-fits-all. They should be tailored to suit the unique requirements of different subjects and educational levels. For example, a rubric for a history essay might focus on analytical skills, while a science project rubric could prioritize experimental design and data interpretation. When adapting rubrics for different subjects, ensure that they align with the specific learning objectives of that discipline. The educational level of students also plays a significant role. A rubric used in an elementary school setting will naturally differ from one used in a university context. As the complexity of the subject matter increases, so should the sophistication of the rubric. Finally, consider the diverse learning styles of your students. Some may excel in visual tasks, while others may shine in verbal or physical activities. By incorporating these different learning styles into your rubric design, you can create a more inclusive and equitable assessment tool. A flexible approach to rubric design can cater to a wide range of educational needs. Rubrics are powerful tools for feedback and improvement. This statement underlines a critical aspect of assessment rubrics that sometimes gets overlooked in the quest for grades and scores. The first way rubrics facilitate this is by providing meaningful feedback. Unlike a simple grade, a rubric breaks down the evaluation into its components, allowing both the teacher and the student to see exactly where the strengths and weaknesses lie. This detailed feedback can be a game changer, helping students understand what they did well and where they need to focus their efforts to improve. It's also a valuable tool for teachers, providing insight into areas where instruction might need to be adjusted or reinforced. But the magic of rubrics doesn't stop there. They also encourage student self-assessment and reflection. By clearly laying out the expectations for a task, students can use the rubric to evaluate their own work before submission. This self-assessment process fosters critical thinking and self-awareness, crucial skills for lifelong learning. Moreover, it empowers students to take ownership of their learning, promoting a growth mindset that can transform their educational journey. Lastly, rubrics can serve as a catalyst for the continuous improvement of teaching methods. By revealing patterns in student performance, they can provide valuable data to inform teaching strategies. If a significant number of students are struggling with a particular criterion, for instance, it might indicate a need for further instruction or a different approach to teaching that concept. In a nutshell, rubrics turn assessment into a dialogue, a conversation about what is working, what isn't, and how to make learning better. They are not just about assigning grades, but about guiding improvement, fostering self-awareness, and enhancing teaching effectiveness. With rubrics, every assessment is an opportunity for growth and improvement. So let's embrace them not just as evaluation tools, but as instruments of learning, insight, and progress.